পাশে দাও একদম ঠিক আছে।
Good morning. My name is Anna Labanova, and it's my honor to be a master of the ceremony today. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the opening session of the Committee on Energy and its third session will commence shortly. The session is held via e-conference platform CUDA. You will be able to turn on your microphone and camera only when your request to speak has been submitted and accepted through the platform. We also welcome participants joining us via YouTube. Kindly note that remote simultaneous interpretation of the proceedings provided by United Nations for the purpose of facilitating communication in light of the fact that there are 6 official languages of the United Nations, 4 of which are used at ESCAP. Participants are requested to be mindful of the additional difficulties experienced by interpreters when working in remote mode and of the increased likelihood of disruption to the audio feed to the interpreters. Only the speech or intervention in the original language is authentic and continues an authentic record of the proceedings. In case of any inconsistency between the interpretation and the speech or intervention in the original language, the latter shall prevail. In addition, interpreters servicing remote meetings cannot be held liable for interruption of service, pixelation, freezing, or loss of virtual input, partial or complete loss of audio artifacts, unauthorized access to personal or confidential data, leaking of information due to inadequate soundproofing, and data loss. Thank you for your attention on these matters. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome you to the opening session of the third session on the Committee on Energy, which will now begin. To open the third session of the Committee on Energy of ESCAP, please join me in welcoming Mr. Mohammed Hossain, Director General, PowerCell, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Bangladesh, and the chair of the second session of the Committee on Energy. He will give his opening statement and chair the opening session. And Ms. Armida Salcia Ali Jabana, Under Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Mr. Hossain, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Anna. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third session of the Committee on Energy. It is a pleasure to be with you. The third session is in unprecedented times. We are meeting virtually to ensure the safety and well-being of all delegates during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as due to ongoing travel restrictions in many countries in the Asia-Pacific region. I wish to record my thanks to the Secretariat for bringing us together, and I look forward to 3 fruitful days of discussions. It is now my pleasure to inform that Mr. Khalid Sambar Siri, the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Energy, Royal Thai Government, has sent a video message containing his opening remarks for the third session of the Committee on Energy. Secretariat, please show the video.
Excellency, Ms. Amida Sansia Alice Chabana, Under Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific. Excellency Minister and Ambassadors from UN member countries, Honorable UN representatives and experts, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Sawadee krap, good morning. On behalf of the Royal Thai government, I would like to extend my warm welcome to you all with my great pleasure to open the third session of the ESCAP Committee on Energy today. May I recall, since the adoption of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in 2015, many countries are making progress in realizing the effort to meet the target of SDG by 2030, with attempt to incorporate it in national policy and planning. However, challenge in implementation still continue to persist. Particularly at present, the global health and economic hardship set off by the COVID-19 pandemic underscore the need for reliable energy access, affordable and modern energy. As a result, urgent action is needed to ensure sustainable energy development and economic recovery measures as a part of COVID-19 response. The energy demand of Asia-Pacific region is growing at the fast speed before the pandemic. In order to meet increased demand, to secure energy supply, and to ensure the sustainable energy system. At the same time, we all need to adapt the new normal situation, requiring concert collaboration and coordination among members, in which ESCAP will play an important role to facilitate this transition process smoothly and systematically. Therefore, the third Committee on Energy organized today under the theme Energy Transition for Cleaner, More Resilient and Inclusive Energy Future in Asia Pacific is timely to provide an opportunity to policymakers to plan a regional agenda for sustainable energy to achieve the SDG 7 goal. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the government of Thailand places great importance on the value of building a sustainable energy future. We are now developing the National Energy Plan, NEP, taking into account the whole spectrum of energy sector toward the concept of go green, with energy security and competitiveness for sustainable energy future. This nation energy plan will shape up the future energy of Thailand and transform our energy sector to be cleaner and greener. Renewable energy and innovative technology are the key factors to drive our energy policy direction. Our energy strategy and roadmap to achieve the goal of carbon neutrality in energy sector is the key element to reach the low carbon society with long-term sustainable actions. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to this event offering strategic direction on how to build on our country's success today, address key opportunities and challenge through best practice, challenge to manage the transition toward a cost-effective system, integration of clean and renewable energy to support a decarbonization pathway. In a nutshell, active engagement with contribution of national, regional cooperation, together with political and economic groups, are vital to move forward our intention for sustainable energy future. I welcome all country commitment to address this performance to achieve SDG 7 goal and simultaneously move forward to low carbon economy. I would like to thank Her Excellency Ms. Amida Alice Chabana and ESCAP for your great effort in organizing this third session of the Committee on Energy today. I wish you all successful deliberation in this Committee on Energy. Thank you to all of you and wish you all stay healthy and safe until we meet again physically in the near future. Thank you very much. สวัสดีครับ
Thank you, Mr. Sambatsiri, for delivering a video message at the opening of this session. I would now like to invite Ms. Armida Salcia Alizabana, Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of ESCAP, to deliver her opening statement. Madam Executive Secretary, please.
Mr. Kulit Sombatsiri, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy, Thailand. Mr. Muhammad Hussein, Director General, Power Cell, Ministry of Power, Energy and Mineral Resources, Bangladesh, and the Chair of the second session of the Committee on Energy. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all delegations to the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, as well as those joining remotely from capitals to the third session of the Committee on Environment, to the third Committee on Energy. The past year has been a testing and transformative time for the Asia-Pacific region. As we work together to recover better from the COVID-19 pandemic, ESCAP has been using its regional platform to support our member states to respond to the long-term challenges of building back better. The pandemic has reminded us that a reliable and uninterrupted energy supply is an essential part of our ability to respond to this type of crisis. Energy is essential not just for hospitals and healthcare, but to support the systems and coping mechanism we rely on to work remotely, continue education, and to communicate essential health information to citizens. For this next phase of the crisis, it will also underpin cold chain and logistics to ensure billions of vaccines make their way to people who need it the most. Yet, the access to clean cooking is an area requiring substantial policy focus, as only 61% of the region's population had access to clean cooking in 2018. Closing this gap by 2030 will require a redoubling of efforts to roll out clean cooking technology solutions and business models. Similarly, the region's share of modern renewable energy, excluding traditional biomass, reached about 8.2% in 2017, which requires further coordinated push. These energy statistics underscore the importance of taking concrete action to steer sustainable energy transition in our region. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we move from the immediate health crisis to long-term recovery, I would like to emphasize that sustainable energy can play a key part in this recovery. ESCAP has been emphasizing the importance of Sustainable Development Goals as a guiding framework for recovering better. If we progress the SDGs with greater determination, we can address many of the systemic issues that made societies more vulnerable to COVID-19 pandemic and ensure societies are more able to weather future crises. Our flagship 2021 Regional Trends Report, titled Shaping a Sustainable Energy Future in Asia and the Pacific, a greener, more resilient and inclusive energy system, provides analysis on these issues and presents an up-to-date snapshot of the region's progress on SDG 7. I would like to take this opportunity to formally launch the report, which is shown on the screen. In this context, accelerating regional progress on SDG 7, clean and affordable energy, offers an opportunity to assist countries of the Asia-Pacific region recover from the pandemic towards a cleaner and low-carbon future. The report highlights that there are significant gaps in achieving all SDG 7 targets by 2030. So by directing stimulus spending to investment in renewable energy, there are opportunities to generate jobs while addressing sustainability and climate targets. Similarly, by investing in energy efficiency, we can reduce costs for businesses and households that could further draw resources from economic stimulus and relief measures. By increasing expenditure on clean cooking and electricity access, member states can enhance economic activity in rural areas and set in place modern infrastructure that can make these communities more resilient and more inclusive for the well-being of women and children. Furthermore, drawing on the most up-to-date data across the SDG 7 targets, the analysis in this report considers a range of examples and key lessons from the varied experience across the Asia-Pacific region to inform and improve future decision-making efforts. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the committee can play a transformative role in many areas, achieving SDG 7 and the Paris Agreement, connecting the region's power grids, addressing energy inequalities, and tackling emerging issues in the energy landscape. With this background, allow me to convey the following key messages to you as you conduct your deliberations in the committee. First, let us focus on regional cooperation on energy that will help in tracking progress on SDG 7 and highlight gaps where more progress needs to be made. We continue to see strong progress on access to electricity, with overall 95.6% of the population having access to electricity in 2018. Universal access to electricity in urban areas has almost been achieved. However, rural areas, which are often in harder to reach locations, still lag behind. As we approach universal electricity access for the region, we need to turn our attention to improving the efficiency and quality of electricity. Second, let us focus on renewable energy. In our region, while the pace of renewable energy installations has been strong, it has not been sufficient to capture a significant share against a background of growing appetite for energy. Phasing out the use of coal from power generation portfolios with substitution by renewables, ending fossil fuel subsidies, and implementing carbon pricing are some of the steps ESCAP has been advocating. In this context, we recently launched a new UN ESCAP report titled Coal Phase Out and Energy Transition Pathways for Asia and the Pacific. As renewables in the electricity can grow faster than other elements of the energy system, we must also electrify more end user sectors, such as transport and heat, to maximize the value of renewable energy in the system. Third, let us further deliberate to better connect and promote cross-border electricity connectivity for sustainable development. The work undertaken by ESCAP on this issue is intended to forge a common regional strategy toward increased sustainable power system connectivity. It is for that reason we hope you will endorse the draft roadmap for regional power grid connectivity, which member states work together to revise and improve at the informal consultation process ESCAP organized last November. This roadmap provides a set of concrete strategies for increasing power system integration by improving the way countries in the region plan, develop, and operate their grids, while also ensuring that increased connectivity works in service of both national policy priorities and overarching sustainability goals. The importance of this long-term effort stems not only from the possibility it offers to enable access to more reliable and lower-cost electricity supplies, but also from the opportunity to tap into the vast renewable energy potential in the region and to help accelerate the overall decarbonization of the region. I'm pleased to recognize the recent announcements of carbon neutral from a number of member states in this region demonstrated the ambition and determination that also requested accelerated transformation to sustainable energy. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, ESCAP will continue to support its member states to navigate a path out of the COVID-19 crisis. We have worked continuously to reorient our intergovernmental dialogues our analytical work, and capacity building to support these goals across all the sectors we cover. Energy is no exception. This crisis should not deflect us from the urgent task of making modern energy available to all and decarbonizing the region's energy system. Rather, it should provide us with a renewed sense of urgency and a series of opportunities to harness the capacity of sustainable energy can deliver to societies, economies, and environment as we build back better from the COVID-19 pandemic. We count on your leadership to progress the ambitious and cross-cutting agenda through the Energy Committee. As the newest of our intergovernmental committees, I feel we have only begun to exploit the potential of regional cooperation on energy. Therefore, your deliberations on these energy issues are critical to help the region plan a course ahead through these challenging times in Asia and Pacific. I wish you a very successful committee session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Executive Secretary, for your opening statement. That concludes agenda item 1A, opening statements. We now turn to agenda item 1B, election of officers. In accordance with rules of procedure of ESCAP, the committee shall elect from among its representatives a chairman and vice chairman who shall hold office until their successors are elected. They shall be eligible for re-election. If the chairman is absent from a meeting or any part thereof, the vice chairman designated by the chairman shall preside. The chairman or the vice chairman acting as chairman shall participate in the meetings of the committee as such and not as the representative of the member by whom he was accredited. The committee shall admit an alternate representative to represent that member in the meetings of the committee and to exercise its right to vote. I would now like to invite proposals for the Bureau for the third session of the committee. Based on the previous practices, the Bureau is proposed to consist of 1 chair and 4 vice chairs, 1 from each sub-region. The floor is open for proposals. I recognize India. India, you have the floor.
Good morning, all. On behalf of the delegation from India, I would like to make the following nominations for the Bureau of the third session of the Committee on Energy. For the chair, I nominate His Excellency Mr. John Usamed, Minister of Infrastructure and Meteorological Services, the Government of Fiji. For the vice chairs, I nominate Her Excellency Ms. Roshan Yesbulatova, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative to ESCAP, Embassy of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The second Vice Chair, Ms. Premrutai Vinaypat, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy, Thailand. For the third Vice Chair, His Excellency Mr. Ganesh Prasad Dakal, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative to ESCAP, Embassy of Nepal. For the fourth Vice Chair, His Excellency Mr. Tumur Amarsana, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative to ESCAP, Embassy of Mongolia. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, India. Are there any countries that would like to support the proposal made by India, or are there any other proposals? I recognize Malaysia. Malaysia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. On behalf of the Government of Malaysia, I would like to second the nominations made by the Government of India for the third session of the Committee of Energy. Thank you.
Thank you to the representative of Malaysia in seconding the proposal made by India. Are there other proposals for Bureau of the third session of the Committee on Energy? If none, it is so decided. The Bureau of the third session of the committee will consist: for the chair, Honorable Joni Usamat, Minister for Infrastructure and Meteorological Services, Government of Fiji. For the vice chairs, Her Excellency Ms. Roshan Isabulatova, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative to ESCAP, Embassy of the Republic of Kazakhstan in the Kingdom of Thailand. The second, Ms. Prem Rutai Binaifat, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy, Thailand. And the third vice chair is His Excellency Mr. Tumur Amarsana, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative to ESCAP, Embassy of Mongolia in the Kingdom of Thailand. His Excellency Mr. Ganesh Prasad Dhakal, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative to ESCAP, Embassy of Nepal in the Kingdom of Thailand. Thank you for your kind cooperation in electing the Bureau for the third session of the Committee on Energy. As the chair of second session of the Committee on Energy, I now announce that the chair will step down from the Bureau together with four distinguished fellow Bureau members, namely Mr. Feng Kuan An of China, Mr. Talyat Aliyev of Russian Federation, Mr. Sarawat Kwatchitip of Thailand, Mr. Abafoa Irata of Tuvalu. I would like to express my sincere appreciation extended to members of the Bureau by the members and associate members of the committee. I now have the honor to invite the newly elected chair of the third session of the committee to take his place as the chair of the committee.
Your Excellency, now the floor is yours. Honorable Minister Yoni Usamet, the floor is yours now. You can speak. Honorable Minister, the floor is yours. You can speak now. We can hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed Hussein, Chair of the second session of the committee, for the handover. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for the confidence placed in me to serve as your chair and the great honor you have bestowed on my country and on me. Together with the Honorable Vice Chairs, I shall endeavor to do my very best to discharge the responsibilities of serving as your chair with the support of the Secretary. The members of the Bureau and I shall do our best to ensure that this Committee on Energy achieves its objectives and reaches a successful conclusion. We pledge to honor your trust by discharging our responsibilities with dedication, professional ethics, and principles that guide the international energy community. Important deliberations are ahead of us. I am mindful that as chairs of the Committee on Energy, it is incumbent upon me to do my best to ensure that this session generates concrete decisions that shape the future of energy transition in the Asia-Pacific region. For this, I rely on the cooperation and active engagement of all distinguished delegates and the able support of the members of the Bureau. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, due to possible internet instability, I'm afraid that the connection may be disrupted. I would like to delegate the chair to Her Excellency Ms. Roshan Yesbulatova, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative to ESCAP, Embassy of the Republic of Kazakhstan in the Kingdom of Thailand. Your Excellency Ms. Roshan Yesbulatova, please chair the rest of the session and thank you. My representative for Fiji will make interventions during the session as appropriate. Once again, thank you for giving us the opportunity and I look forward to a successful deliberation. Thank you.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And I'm honored to be able to serve as a chair of the remaining part of the agenda item 1 and 2 this morning. Let us now turn to agenda item 1C, adoption of the agenda as contained in document ESCAP/CE/2021/L1. And now I invite any comments of the agenda from the floor.